Okay. Hello. I ended the intro because we have 80 people in here already. Figured we could probably get started.
Yeah, I
Nice to
think we
see you
need to
guys.
make it shorter, right?
The intro or the whole video?
No, the intro. Like, no, the whole video. I think we're in a good time. Our stream is okay. It's 30 minutes approximately. So okay, we have we have 100 now, Boris. So it's a
Yeah.
good number. And okay, and you share everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. It's been
Perfect,
blasted everywhere.
perfect. The aligned beam is running through space. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. We'll start, I think, in one more minute, just in case. And I'm actually surprised at the speed at which people join. It's pretty impressive, to be honest.
The intro was very long, so they had a lot of time.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
It's like when you're waiting to get into a room for a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
People are in the
the
in the
lobby.
lobby. There's someone who put GM and his username is Wonderful Mojito. Great username. Okay. A couple of new features. Yeah, we can start. Thanks everyone for joining. As every week, what we're doing is an alignment session. The idea is to do a live stream explaining some updates on the engineering team and on the product side and some of the things we see in the industry that we believe are relevant to share with our community. We have been doing this for 18 weeks now in a row. I think we're getting to a place where we're getting better. We are not professional live streamers, but I hope it's somehow entertaining, or at least you can see the clips afterward if you don't want to see us for 40 minutes. But the whole point, and I will always repeat the same, we're doing this because we want everyone to have a place where they can see us. They can see our beautiful faces, see that we are not AI, and see directly from us our raw thoughts and opinions on different stuff. And we usually have Mauro first doing the engineering update, and then with Boris and Diego, we comment in general some of these advancements and stuff that happens in the industry. Some weeks we have a longer stream because there are many things to cover. Other weeks we have something that is shorter. Um, and then we use all of this content so we can create clips and make sure we can share the message or our feedback and opinions on different stuff in our different social media. So yeah, we'll start with Mauro sharing his screen and covering what the engineering team did this last week. Every Monday, I believe, we share what we achieved in terms of engineering for the week. So we're trying to be as transparent as possible, and everything is open source.
Well, yes, I can start. Like this upgrade is a little bit different than the previous one because for the last week, like most of the work has not been on the main repo. What we are trying to do is, or what we are doing is exploring new ways to use Line, making examples and such. So, for example, we are experimenting of making some CK games where the users can actually interact, maybe in the browser, uh, and then generate proofs and send them to Align. Right. So, in the middle, we are doing this like in a very exploratory manner. So we started like 5, 6 different projects or alternatives to projects, and we were experimenting with what works best. So there are a lot of repos that were abandoned in a way. So you can see on this one, for example, that Hershey posted that was actually a CK Sudoku where the user can do things then prove that they know the solution and verify it in Ethereum. We are also doing other puzzle games. We're experimenting a little bit with client-side proving. This might lead to us integrating Circom or Lita. We are experimenting a little bit. So we will have more news over this week and the next week. And then we were doing some experiments with CKML. And we try a lot of things. We did some programs to try to run the inference of Llama, and of course, even though it was Llama 1 billion with quantization, it was too slow. So technology is probably not yet there, but we wanted to give it a try. Then we were running some classification of image that is still kind of slow for a user or to do it a lot. Yeah, we might try something for next week. We were waiting for some patches to do some other kind of simpler CKM ML systems, more based on either linear regressions or maybe clustering. We might try to do some sentiment analysis. We will see. All of this is very experimental. So we are trying to quickly explore possible solutions and see if that leads to some interesting applications. We have done a little bit of work on the main repo, and you can see it here, but it was mostly cleaning up some stuff that we have. The main file were very random on the name of the targets. So to start some services, maybe you have to put first the name of the service and then start. Or for other ones, it was the other way around. It was kind of clunky. So we fixed that. We did some fix on the CI. And I think like the most interesting part probably for people is like the documentation of the aggregation mode. Let me see if I can show it to you.
I think you will need to change the tab from
yes, of course. Was finding first like the screen. Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
So let me share it with you. So we added we updated a little bit the documentation of the aggregation mode and added this deep dive that is not so deep, so don't get scared about it. It explains how the aggregation mode is working right now, and it should help to clear any doubts that you might have about the system and how it works. Feel free to check it out. This is a complement to another guide that we had before, that it was like building. No, there is another guide. If we look it over here, that I'm not finding right now, but to run an L2 with the prover that we showed you last week. That one is still around, but we thought like maybe it needed a little bit of an introduction of how everything works. You have it here. Very simple. We fetch the proofs, get the ones on the right type, aggregate them. Then we publish some data on the blobs to make it more secure, or at least to have some guarantees on data availability. And yeah, after we have the blobs ready, we send everything to the proof aggregation service. And we have a small explanation of our multi-layer aggregation system that, yeah, is actually 2-layer because that's enough. But yeah, we do the aggregation of the aggregated proofs that we talked before, and here it is explained. And so if someone comes and didn't see our videos, they have the explanation of how everything works. Hopefully that make it simpler for new people to approach our protocols. That's it for the update. I don't know if anybody has any questions I can answer. If not, we can move to another topic.
I think it was very clear. The only thing I just noticed, Mauro, is maybe we can use the video we created in the documentation as an approach like video. Like if you want an animation that more or less shows, that shows without too much detail how this works, you can put it there in the top, and people have a visual aid basically.
Sure, that might be useful.
And so to put more context to everyone, we're working a lot with the ecosystem team and the engineering team to have a lot of videos showing how things work. So it's not only our documentation, but people who might not be too technical, instead of going into the documentation, they can also follow along and we can use them not only for communications, but also for documentation. And just to highlight something that Mauro said that is very important is I always, at the end of every update, I remind people what we're doing. So we have the proof verification layer, used to be called the fast mode, that is ABS, still under maintenance and improving some stuff. Actually, something that we didn't mention, Mauro, is we have someone in the Terran group that I think is trying to send proofs. We don't know who you are, but thank you. Let us know if you need any help. And we have a team that has been trying to use the proof verification layer, and we're helping them to solve a few issues and they're having on their side. And then Mauro and the team are also building demos on top of the two products, right? On top of the proof verification layer and the aggregation service or aggregation mode. And the idea is to have more tutorials, and also in the future we might use this and make some of them public so people can try them out and test how an end-to-end product on top of a line could work. These are just for specific applications written in Rust in this case. Some of them are kind of similar to what people did in the hackathons with the games they built. And hopefully in the future we can showcase some other stuff that work with integration, for example, with Easter eggs and all those things, but that will take some time. So for now, the team is exploring some of these use cases. So keep improving the proof verification layer, trying to finish the aggregation mode, and building the demos and tutorials. That's basically what the engineering team is covering for now, with the, of course, ongoing integration with diffrex aligned. So those are the most important things we have right now in the engineering pipeline, basically. And to give a quick update from the ecosystem kind of strategy, the idea is to start explaining even more each one of these products. We should have today, or tomorrow, the rollup as a service blog where we're explaining what it is, what things is it using, how it connects with the other products that we have in the pipeline. And we are also building more information on the general picture and strategy of everything we're doing. So we'll showcase like the whole map of aligned programs in one picture and saying, okay, this is the idea. And this is the vision, and the approach we're taking of vertically integrating all of these services and products is not because we want to. It's not like we want to rebuild everything from scratch, but it has a vision behind it and a strategy, right? And if I have to put in very simple terms, by owning the whole technology, we reuse dependencies on other products, so it's easier for us to support and give a better product and service to our clients. And the people who we are speaking and they want to use our technology, they came directly from the ecosystem, so they want the whole stack. They don't know any other solutions, so why not rather build everything that we need, that we believe people will need in the future to build on top of Ethereum, rather than start using a bunch of vendors that could slow down certain things, and where if some part of the product that we're using is not that good, we depend on a third party. So all of these solutions that are one click in order to start building on top of Ethereum are part of what we want to achieve. Go to a line, one click, launch whatever you need on top of Ethereum, roll up, application written in Rust and verified on top of Ethereum and Align. Use it as a financial backend or as a commitment place. Align will offer all the tools you need. So we'll be explaining more of these things. Boris, I don't know if you have anything specific to say about this.
No, I think you covered all of it. I mean, the things that I just like to keep repeating and highlighting are that, yeah, we are basically providing tools and infrastructure for people to access Ethereum more easily. And everything is kind of connected. So you've heard us talk about our proof verification layer a lot, and now the aggregation mode, but this is what enables us, along with Ethrex, the new execution client from Lambda class, to offer what we think will be a really, really competitive and effective and reliable ZK rollup stack. Because this technology has advanced super quickly over the past year, and we believe it's very important for this technology to be more accessible. So if you are thinking about launching a rollup, we'd love to talk to you. We are going to have an article probably today or tomorrow, like RJ said, kind of outlining the whole rollup as a service product offering, the whole platform, and we're excited to hear what you think.
Yeah, and Mauro, don't worry. It's not like we're saying you can launch it now. This is not like the meme of the engineering team finding out, like, okay, this is actually live. No, we're just explaining why is it useful, what things are going to be used when we launch the rollup as a service. Don't panic, please. Everything is fine. So maybe what we can do is something that we have been discussing with Mauro and Diego today, because I'm in Buenos Aires with them. Is something that I think is going to be interesting for many people, and we can maybe, Diego, you actually touch, or you have been studying some of these things outside of CK. Is explain the interaction or the intersection between CK and machine learning and AI. Mauro has also been playing around with. He explained briefly. So he has been trying a few things. Maybe we can give our opinion on it. What's the stage of all of these things? I think, Boris, you spoke with one of the teams that were building CKML in the past. I don't remember if it was this year or the last one. But there are a couple of new interesting things we can talk about, and it's a topic that I believe a lot of people will care, especially if things keep getting this good, and we will need to put a break on or something on AI so that we don't get dominated.
Yeah, and then we end in Dune's world.
Yeah, exactly.
Surrender to the AI, or say. Like,
At this point, I might. I mean, I have been on a plane for like 13 hours, and I think I have been talking to ChatGPT the whole flight. It was Slack and ChatGPT.
You're replacing human beings by AI, RJ. You're going down that path.
No, but it's not. It's not for personal things. It's just for work and study stuff. I'm not talking to an AI to just to find human
Socialize.
connection. Yes, don't
okay,
worry.
so
I'm
no
not at
AI
that stage.
girlfriends.
No. If at some point I turn out into that stage, just kidnap me and take me into the woods and left me there like a month until I recover.
Yeah. I know an excellent place in Argentina where you will be out of touch from everything. Like, yeah, then I'll tell you. I have the place for you for AI deintoxication. So okay, going back to what you were saying about AI, I think that we all realize that this is going to take over many different areas, and that we are going to rely increasingly on this for lots of tasks. For example, RJ working, or some people, instead of Googling things, they ask the AI. I even had a discussion because Fran was using the AI to show me that René Goscinny was
Next
born in
slide.
Argentina and he was born in Paris, but apparently Fran's AI was terribly biased and was telling Fran what he wanted to hear. which is not something good, because then of course Frank gets his confirmation bias and he starts like talking to people like he's right about something which he clearly is wrong. So as we can see, AI is prone to having like some issues. You can put, for example, undetectable bugs in an AI, some biases that, for example, could uh, discriminate against like a group of people, or lie to you about certain things. So we need to have a way of like certifying that the AI is behaving as expected. Of course, right now, as Mauro said, we cannot even like prove the inference of a very big large language model. But what we can do is perhaps at some point really prove big inferences. Of course, training is more like uh, resource intensive. And so perhaps like verifying the training and everything is going to be quite unlikely. But I think maybe there are like some ways in which we can somehow try to validate or at least prevent something. Yes, Boris.
I just wanted to add for people who are maybe not as deep into the weeds here. Inference is like when you prompt a model. So that's when you're actually using the model to get some answer from a prompt. That's inference, and that's, I guess, what most of the verifiable AI work is focused around nowadays, right?
Yeah,
Yes, getting an answer from not only an LM, like anything. Like it can be another type of model.
Yes, it can be a generation of an image, it can be a prediction about the market, it can be whatever that you want to generate, like anything
Object
that you are,
detecting.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you also have people trying to work on ways of certifying that certain images are real and not generated by an AI. So I think CK with its integrity gives you ways of trying to put like some rails on AI, also like allowing you to verify that, for example, if you are paying a subscription to use a given model, they are actually using the model you are paying for. Of course, I don't know, maybe Sam Altman doesn't like it because he would have to generate the proofs, and so he would have to charge you more for using ChatGPT. But I think that it's good to have like some of these tools that allow us to be confident on the results we get from the AI.
Yeah,
I think
I think there's some people that work like the providers of this technology. I think Gemini is one of them. They are providing already like watermarks. Like we don't have proofs yet, but they are trying to create like certain evidence that what the information you're getting is actually from a particular model, or was created by an LM, or whatever they're using to combat the fake, or also so they like when you browse around something online, you can check that it came from them.
Yeah.
No, the other thing I wanted to mention about this is it's not only like the use cases are very big. Like it's not only like checking if something came from this AI or not, but the issue is understanding that this is breaking many protocols in society. I think we talked about this last time with you when I was in Belgium. You will know, like this is part of our manifesto, but I want to be more clear. Like many things that work today in society rely on checking a document, checking that a picture is actually true. Like it's very not mechanical, but it relies on tools that are very outdated, and those protocols will break with all of these things. Like even by just talking to your family and showing them a video of whatever. I do this to troll my family, especially my parents who cannot see the difference. If you create a generative AI picture or a video and you send it to your aunts or whatever, they will fall. They don't know how to decide if it's something looks weird or not. Like my mother gets confused when she watches a clip that is from GTA 5, and she believes it's an actual crash, and that's a game from 2015. Imagine that way of like that incapacity of telling if something is true or not for everything that happens in society. Like a bureaucrat receiving something to do KYC, or checking if that document is correct in order to do a bank transfer. Like everything will break. Like even
No,
invoicing, like everything.
yeah, RJ. In fact, for example, I remember back at university, I don't know, I got a subsidy, and then I had to like went on a trip or something, and then I had to give all the receipts and everything.
Yeah,
Right now, you could easily like generate lots of things, and so like the protocol would kind of be broken. It's kind of crazy to think about that, and you can't have like bureaucrats going over every single piece of paper to see whether they are like real or not, because that involves a lot of time, resources wasted. So you need like something that can guarantee integrity without having to go and like do it like the old human way, because it's very easy to overload humans. You
yep,
can generate content almost for free. Uh,
I agree.
so
Like it's going to be so cheap that it's. I mean, it's already like when Twitter is almost unusable. Like it's almost everything bot. Wouldn't say almost everything bots, but it's getting to a point that it's very easy to see. Like, hey, every single time someone's tweet, you have a bot replying with something that for now doesn't make any sense. In the future, it will start making more sense. And we need to have ways to distinguish what comes from software and what from humans, because at this point things are so good that it's going to start breaking more stuff. And and also something that I don't know if this is easy to understand from for a lot of people, but society will have a lot of things that are very outdated, that have a lot of technical debt, or they don't want to even upgrade. Um, and we're into a point because they are like, why should we use more software here to automate all of this? Like we are not a pipeline of 1,000 people. We're only for this process only 20 people, and they never put the capital in software to upgrade because the subscription was too high for migrating. Now it's like, okay, but the pipeline of humans you have no longer works because they will not be able to identify if it's good or not. So all of these things will require new tools, and we believe blockchain and CK are going to be the right tools in order to start solving or proposing solutions for many of these things. And many of them will come with identity, something that we are working with a partner on that. Many of them will go directly into using CK with machine learning. But in the end, you will need to have a source of truth in order to have consensus around if something actually happened or not. And that's where blockchains come in. I think Shriram calls them credible commitment machines, right? I think that's
yeah,
that is maybe a little too abstract for most people, but it's actually what they do. So it's just reaching consensus that something actually happened or not, instead of having databases saying, "Oh yeah, I logged in this or I didn't have this." We have one place where we determine that that's the end source of truth. So whatever happens in the next few years, all of these things are going to be very useful. We don't know yet what are the products that will come out of what will be like the main CKML product, but there are a bunch of teams working on. I think we should invite Giza one of these days, and they're a great team that have been working and exploring this for quite a while. I think there's also Ezekiel that they built a library, um, and well, Lagrange recently they published something. I haven't taken a look at it yet, but in the end, I think the interesting thing will be finding the people who will use those tools in order to build products solving the issues that we just described.
Totally. Yeah, about CKML, I mean, this is one of the use cases for like our own infrastructure aligned that I've always been very excited about supporting, for everything that you guys already said. But I mean, there's also, I think, some very concrete use cases right now. Like the projects you mentioned already are working on some of this, but then more focused on DeFi stuff. There's projects like Malda and Alterscope. I think they're both focused on, well, Arbitrum and Linnea, but basically for a lot of things in DeFi, especially when you're looking at complex risk management or complex rebalancing operations, machine learning models are really useful for this because they can just integrate so much information and make financial decisions in an autonomous way. But then we have this problem where, if these decisions being made by an AI, these actions being taken by agents are potentially influencing like large amounts of money, you need to be sure that the model is running properly, and you need to be able to verify that it made this decision and this decision should be executed on. So you can use ZK to do this, but then verifying the ZK proofs of this ML inference can become expensive. And maybe these proof systems are not optimized for on-chain verification, but if they're going to trigger on-chain actions, you need to verify them on-chain. And this is exactly what, for over a year that I've been with Aligned, I've been like, okay, this is exciting stuff. Let's allow more people to use ZKML to do crazy DeFi stuff. And yeah, definitely want to get those guys on some streams because I've had really fun chats with them so far.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best examples or use cases you can build on top of Align, especially because the tech they use might be different, or they have to optimize for certain things, and they're not the same for a rollup or the same for verifying things on chain directly, as you mentioned, on top of Ethereum. I don't know, Mauro, if you have any insights in particular about what you found out by testing a few things.
On the application side, yes, I think like what Boris said is really interesting. Probably it's going to be worth a bit like having autonomous agent that you can verify that the decisions came from them, and that sounds realistic in a short time span because you don't. If your model is specialized in something, it's going to be smaller, right? Right now, most of the models, they are very big, but they are also very general. They can do whatever. With specialized models, maybe for finance or that kind of things, is more doable. Hopefully, we will see things really soon. On the AI side, I think like right now with the tech that there is, it should start going faster. Probably CK overall is a little bit constrained in resources. I'm not sure how many engineers you have in CK in general. I doubt that you have much more than 100, maybe 200, whatever. Hopefully we have more. I don't know what's maybe your intuition, Boris, that you have been around more.
How many engineers there are working on ZK or
ZK in general?
Oh, ZK
no,
in general.
ZK.
I mean, probably a couple hundred at least. You guys will probably have a better idea than me, though.
And from that, in CKML is probably less than a tenth of that. So I don't think there are many people.
No more than 20 for sure.
So probably what we have now is a constraining number of engineers doing the work, but I think the tech is there for be used and start developing applications. Yes, now Giza with Stush will probably have something interesting. I think there is room to just use RIX5 VMs, maybe with some optimizations. But if you have inference in Rust, of course, you can run it with a RIX5 CKVM. The other thing is most of the development of the machine learning stuff is done in things like Python or very high level. So we are missing a little bit of libraries in Rust. I managed to play around with them, but we could boosting like the work of ML in Rust will improve the CKML in general. But there is a base for that, and hopefully that will be continuing improving. And the other thing I was thinking, like over my last days working with this, is that there are some branches of algorithms that are usually not used in ML because they are hard to parallelize. So in general, in ML, you have operation with matrices, things that can do a lot of things in parallel. That makes sense because you're sitting in a GPU, and then you go really fast, and that's kind of the meta, right? The way that things should be done. But it's all worthless when you do CK because you are not going to be able to improve things by making it parallel. Actually, you'll make it worse, right? You have to do everything sequential. And there might be a case for me to start revisiting algorithms that are not usually used in ML because they are not for parallel use, but they might be better for CK. Sadly, I couldn't find much of those, but while reading, I was like, okay, we don't use this because it's very sequential. For me, it was like, okay, but this will be amazing for CK because if it is faster on the sequential scenario, this is the one that we want. But of course, it needs a lot of engineering work. We are not so many, but hopefully the space will grow and then we will start seeing these approaches.
Yes,
Mauro,
and
that's
this is why it's also very useful that we have RISC-V VMs getting really good because it will require, like, it will be easier to have more people start exploring all of these things. Of course, to get into a really good point, you will need more specialized people, but at least for trying more algorithms or stuff, it's going to be easier to develop all of these things.
yeah. Mauro, your question or your comment on algorithms that aren't really used in ML much because they are, sequential and not amenable to parallelization. I feel like that could be a cool thing to ask an LLM. They might have some good ideas. And also sort of related to this topic, I'll show this comment on screen. If anyone's watching the stream, you can see this in the comments or just find it on our blog. We actually had a hackathon project made by Erhan back when we did our hackathon in October, where he did exactly what we were describing. He implemented a verifiable nearest neighbor search algorithm, which is kind of like ML, in Rust to run inside SP1 ZKVM, and then use Align to verify the results of that. So you can check that out and the repo if you're watching and you're curious about this. But yeah, he was one of our hackathon winners. It was a very
Amazing.
cool project.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was one of the most interesting projects from the hackathon. Okay, I think we covered a lot of things today. We're already 40 minutes in. Next week we will try to do it on Monday, as usual. We couldn't do it this week because I was traveling. And I don't think we have anything else. We cover almost everything. I don't know, Boris, if you have anything specific about the community calls that you want to share.
Nope. We won't be doing one this week unless there's
Okay.
a guest that I haven't been told about, but I'm hoping to have
Okay.
somebody for next week. And then we'll see about the week after, because I think all of us anyway here will be in Cannes for ETHCC. Maybe we can do a special stream while we're there.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. Maybe we can invite someone in real life and interview them there.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, from the beach, like all of us sitting there.
Tanning.
What do you mean by real life? What are you talking about?
I just put to AIs.
Yeah, I don't have a proof that you are actually a human being, Mauro. So
if you don't see me on France, yes, start having suspicions.
all right. Yeah, I think we can end the stream here, Boris.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for that Roll-Up as a Service article that we're excited to share.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.